Hey Libra, and welcome to this reading. This reading is a message to help heal your broken heart. So, right off the bat, my guides want me to share the lyrics from the song Forest Green by Aisha Badru, and they go like this. My mind was an unripened plum, fertilized by the violence grown in the slums. My pulse was a muted drum, absorbed by the pavement, heard by none. So I feel like the brokenhearted situation that you're dealing with, the biggest one, because my guides usually want to address the biggest issue at hand, is that in your childhood, you may have not been supported or nurtured the way you needed. There's like a big inner wounding of the inner child going on here. And it's like you may have grown up in a violent home, or you may have grown up in a situation where the ideas and programming that you were given as a child, your mind was abused in a way. And it's like it's like I feel like you were ignored as well, because she's saying my pulse was a muted drum, absorbed by the pavement, heard by none. So you may have dealt with a lot of neglect and abuse in your childhood, and you just never felt nurtured or supported in this situation. And this has affected your whole life and the way you move in the world. There's like echoes of this pain, kind of, throughout your whole life in every aspect. You may see the trauma of the past echoing in the present. And my guides wanted me to share this video with you.
Today I learned of a term called a glimmer, which is the opposite of a trigger. Glimmers are those moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the lookout for glimmers, these tiny moments will appear more and more, hoping you experience a day with more glimmers and less triggers.
I had never heard about glimmers before, and I love looking at this, because we all have triggers that come up and they kind of yank us back into the way we were programmed. And so we respond to it. We respond to our current situation as if we are that wounded inner child trying to fight for our lives. But we don't have to do that anymore, because now it's like we're healing the past, we're leaving the past behind, and now we can start beginning to look for glimmers instead of triggers, and completely change the way the past has control over us now. And it's interesting, my guides wanted me to share a message with you from this book, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And it's by Carol K. Truman. It's an awesome book. But they wanted me to share this paragraph. It says, we create illusions from our incorrect perceptions in our belief system on a daily basis. Belief systems are also created by perceptions. Sometimes these perceptions are correct, but most of the time they are incorrect. And many of us already have long-standing illusions or belief systems created by incorrect perceptions, either about life or about ourselves. These illusions often cause us to become stuck in a rut. For instance, you've heard or have known someone who is very thin, but in their reality, their internal dialogue is that they need to lose weight. They constantly feel that they are too fat. No matter what anyone else says to convince them that they look great, they will not accept it. Their reality perceives that they are overweight. Your reality perceives that they are just right. Most of us maintain these same kinds of illusions in different areas of our lives. Our own illusions can be just as incorrect as the example given here. So I feel like, maybe in your childhood, maybe you were gaslit so much, like what is real, what reality is, was so profoundly disregarded that you had to adopt the illusions given you by those who raised you, those who were in your environment. Like you had no other choice. To survive the situation, you had to do that. And you had to adopt these illusions from those around you and make it a part of your life. And these are incorrect perceptions about yourself, the world, or whatever. And now when you're faced with them, I feel like this is the wounding that's asking to be healed. When you're faced with them, it's kind of like this there's like this really deep sadness and this really deep anger, and that's wanting to be seen. We have the Hermit in reverse. So this is like depression, sadness, loneliness, being isolated as well. And this is the Judgment card. But when I saw the fire here, I felt the anger. There's a lot of anger for things that happened in your home. These cards came out like this. So this is surrounding your home life, your home situation growing up. And it's like these, like the book is called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And that is the truest thing that ever was said. So anger that's never been acknowledged and released, it stays in you. Sadness, same story. And also I feel like these illusions or this negative programming from your childhood is like still echoing in your mind. It's echoing in your life. And it's not just the anger and sadness, but it's things that you were taught that are incorrect about yourself, incorrect about the way the world works or something like this. What makes us worthy? What makes us good as well? And we can see here that like this anger that was brought up in your childhood, it spills over in times where like I don't feel like you would want it to, because you're triggered. And this sadness as well. Sometimes when we are so sad, it masks itself as anger. And so I feel like it's turned into this anger that you don't know what to do with. You could be addressing this, or it could just be like bouncing around in your body and in your mind, asking to be released. And I feel like it comes out in moments where you wouldn't want it to. Moments even that, yeah. And your guides want you to know that the source of the anger is these feelings that have never died, that are still, it's like your inner child is saying, I still hurt. I still wish so much that I could be nurtured and supported by these people that I was supposed to feel safe with, but I never felt safe with. And it's like, but yeah, you never had that in your childhood, so you're just like, I gotta keep it moving. I gotta keep moving forward. Everything's fine. My life is fine. Everything looks good, and I'm just gonna keep going. And then when the triggers come in, you get overwhelmed, and they yank you back into your programming or your childhood or something that's not healthy for you, because it was all an illusion. It was, they taught you false things about who you are. They taught you false things about the world. They taught you falsities that are affecting you now. And that's why I thought it was so cool that my guides wanted me to share the Glimmer quote with you. It's time to lean into these triggers instead of allow them to take you over, and ask them what it is that they're trying to teach you, and allow these triggers to become your breadcrumbs back home to your heart, like back home to healing. Allow them to be beautiful instead of this like thing you need to fight off. It's okay to be triggered, because actually if you make your triggers your best friends, there's like no better thing to help you with your healing, because they will point directly to the wound every single time. And so the message that my guides want me to give you to help the healing of your heart is to allow your triggers to be your best friend, and allow them to be glimmers, and look for glimmers everywhere. Know that the divine wants you to heal, that the divine wants you to feel peace. And because we can see that you have felt so much grief in your life because of the way your mind was messed with in your childhood, the violence you grew up around, and the neglect that you experienced. You deserve to feel nurtured and supported. And the best person to do that for you is actually you. Now that you're an adult, you can reparent yourself and hold your own hand toward healing. And so that's the message from your guides, to mend your broken heart.